Welcome back to West Texas View.
We have a full Midland Shared Spaces building. I think you've got one little space left. But most of these tenants were organizations that had pretty much been chosen at the beginning, had applied and been chosen so that they were ready to move in when the building was completed. And so we've heard from all of them. They've talked about how wonderful this experience has been for them and how much more beneficial for their clients, good parking, good access, and so on. Wonderful shared spaces. But we've really not talked about how the community can get involved.
Okay, that's wonderful. One of the questions that we're always asked is, how do I get involved? How do I support Midland Shared Spaces, or what is there for me to do in the community? And one of the things is just bring ideas to us. Right now we have a group of 2 or 3 different organizations that are not tenants who've said, you know what, we need to work together better. And so a board member came to Midland Shared Spaces and said, let's have a meeting together. We're glad to facilitate that, to offer all the building space that we have for that. And that's happened on several levels. The mayor recently has a new litter campaign. He came to the building to use our facilities and our facilitation process so that the whole community could be involved in that. How can you get involved? You can come volunteer for us because we'll be glad to kind of put those volunteers out to the various organizations.
Help them understand what's available.
Help them understand our community and the needs of our community. The community involvement right now, we're on the brink of a new project. We have a partnership with local artist groups, and they're going to hang their artwork inside the building and have rotating exhibits. And so maybe quarterly they'll change, and then we'll have some kind of opening or exhibit celebration, and we would invite the community to come and do that. And then if you know an artist that might want to be involved with that, we would open the doors for that kind of process. We're really looking to be to meet the needs of the community. Obviously, as all nonprofits, we can always use dollars, but we're not really about dollars. We're really about supporting the community. So the dollars that are given to MSS turn around and they're given right back to other nonprofits.
Yeah, and you're not about dollars, but efficiency and effectiveness of the dollars you have is what you're about.
Absolutely.
And the interesting thing about that is you're talking about collaboration with governmental agencies. You're talking about helping about community businesses are even coming in and seeing ways that they can help you.
Well, we have a local school right now who's undergoing a building construction process, and so they're using our building in the meantime. So we're really here to serve the community. I want everybody to know that the awesome rooms you've been talking about are available for use by anyone in the community.
The tenants take precedence, and you have to get in line with your scheduling.
We start with tenants,
early.
nonprofits, and then community, and the availability as well as the price goes up a little bit depending on your relationship to us.
But still so much less expensive than it would be if they had to go out and rent other space.
And really, I think one of our future goals in the community is to become the hubbub of where people come together to discuss community issues. We partnered, as Ellen said, with Midland First, and the whole idea is that we want to be a place where people know they can come with great ideas to say, how can we be better in Midland? What can we be better? Not just nonprofits. Nonprofits are every part of Midland. It's a part of every community. I also think part of our future is helping others understand what a great model this is, and we'd like to use this model in, smaller communities around. You don't have to be big and rich and have thousands of nonprofits. In Midland, we have more than the average person. But Stanton,
and it would take 20 buildings if they were all in.
I know you're from Big Spring, Stanton, all those small communities. This model would work there, and it would cause everybody to be more efficient.
But we're talking about the shared spaces like the community rooms, because I didn't realize you had so many different meeting rooms.
We do.
And so, but one of the best examples of collaboration is right there in shared spaces where you have the adult daycare, who had to have a chef because they have to provide meals for their adult day. And so now that chef has become the chef that provides food for your...
He is available for catering and for our tenants and their clients. But what happens is, instead of supporting Jason's or Michael's or some of our wonderful restaurants, you're actually supporting a nonprofit. So it's nonprofits supporting each other, and we think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I do too.
Absolutely.
And plus, he's got a stake in being a part of the family, because he's going to turn around and ask somebody else to help, or they're going to ask somebody else to help them.
And we are, in that sense, a big family, knowing that our reputations are very dependent upon each other, and we're pretty protective.
Well, in these 8 months, what is the biggest lesson you've learned from this, Gary, or Vicki, both of you? Tell, what's the biggest lesson you've learned? Is it that there is...
there's always room to learn, and
Okay,
we're learning from each other. What works, what doesn't work, how can we fine tune things to make things better, and sometimes by listening to someone who may be completely away from you or different, you can gain a lot of valuable knowledge from their perspective that you wouldn't think of. So we're always learning, and there's always room to learn. So for me.
And I would only add that there's always opportunities to do better together. This afternoon we have a meeting with all the executive directors in our building, and the whole focus of the meeting is, what are your challenges and how can we help each other?
Right.
And so that, I think that it goes with more to learn, but there's always opportunities to do things together that you may have been struggling to do alone.
And the more you learn how to solve that problem.
Absolutely.
And you learn that this person needs that before they even realize they need it, because you've already seen this one go through
and
it.
in our place we have organizations of different lengths. So some have a long history and they've kind of crossed a lot of bridges, and others are brand new and they're just discovering those bridges. So when you have that mentorship built in, it's pretty good.
Well, I have loved watching some of those that are very new, like Be the Change, and their enthusiasm and excitement of being a part of this group is really
The one other thing I've learned, Johnny, real quick, is that people like you are wonderful ambassadors for nonprofits. So we want to thank you from the bottom of our heart for helping not only Midland Shared Spaces, but all the tenants and really the nonprofit sector. So thank you.
Oh, that's a very nice way to end this program. It's been such a pleasure to have this series in place, and I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have, and it'll be on the online sites for you to look at in the future. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next Sunday with another program.
Thanks for joining us for News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery. This has been a public affairs presentation of KWAB TV and KWES TV.